It's it's another cigarette talk with the the old Chris Man and Ninja. Yeah, the topic of this little video is it's called Clearing the Air. Basically it's like you got to go through in your mind and in your life and in your environment and the people that you interact with and all this. It's all encompassing. When you talk about this, what I'm talking about, it's basically if you have any, well, here it's like the Indians, they used to do this too. Like, you get the medicine man, he comes in and he clears out any residual spiritual influences basically by a certain practice. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it's kind of symbolic, like with smoke and maybe saying words. You know what I'm saying? But basically, not just that, but it's also this. It's also kind of like forgiveness, burying the hatchets. And because listen, if you let resentment and hostilities and grudges and animosities fester inside of you, later they turn into contentions, they turn into wars, and wars hurt the whole tribe. You know what I'm saying? Even just a feud between a few people, the families, left missing family members afterwards. It's not worth it to let that fester up, and you got to clear it. You know what I'm saying? You got to sometimes you got to acknowledge certain things and set them right. If you can in your life and in others, and especially even more so in your just personal life. Like people, like someone kicked dirt on your shoe and you were angry about it. Those brand new shoes, whatever. You got to clear that out. You got to get that out of there. Those fester and become demonic attacks later. You know what I'm saying? And this is really what the whole. You don't have to be no medicine man to go clear out spirits. You just got to be a diligent person who you got to be quickly forgiving people. You got to be setting right things. You got to put people at ease. You got to encourage them, uh, comfort them, keep it real with them, and this is the way you combat future demons, demonic attacks. You know what I'm saying? Is in your present, it's like you're fighting in the future by just being a good friend to people. Because really, that's what the Bible's all about. It's like love your brother as yourself, and if you do that, you're in obedience to God. Basically, if you already believe in God and you're doing it for that sake, well, that's how you prove you love God, is by how you treat people. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be more conscientious of that. And if you understand how spiritual things work, well, if you don't address certain things, or if you even address them the wrong way, it even stirs more contention and strife. So it's really out of love. You got to be really flexible with people, and yourself. Because if you get too hard on yourself, you're gonna be discouraged. You know what I'm saying? And you might give up altogether. So it's there's a time. It's like the Bible even says, there's times, man. There's times for all things, but to do them out of time is you're in rebellion of things, and that makes you. What's a practitioner of witchcraft? It's just anyone who is rebellious, like just rebellious for rebellious' sake. You're already a practitioner of witchcraft because you're going to be lying, you're going to be bending the truth, you're going to be deceiving people, using people. So in a way, you're influencing other people negatively. That's witchcraft. Like I think they called it bitchcraft. Is what is the newer version of it. It's just turning people into inconsiderate, apathetic, or even worse, like sociopathic, psychic vampires, basically, and just ego maniacal, just to the point where you believe yourself to be your own god or goddess, whatever. And this is what happens when you don't clear the air. You know what I'm saying? And stay in love with everyone. as much as you can to the degree that they will allow you to show them love. That's how much you give them. You know what I'm saying? You give them the measure in which they require, or they will allow, because some people get all sketched out, man. You know what I'm saying? If you come at them too honest, you know what I'm saying? But I like to clear the air, because, when people, not clearing the air leads to gossip, it leads to hate, hater aid parties, it leads to slandering and character assassination, it leads to just petty division. And then that's not helping that's not helping your situation by keeping. That's the enemy's tactic, is divide and conquer. You look up Willie Lynchery. In a way, our society is just totally based on this Willie Lynchism. I mean, at the core, that's really what it boils back down to, is this Willie Lynchery, where it's secretly, you tell everyone they're the elite and you're part of the secret club, but it's just the same trick that everyone falls for, and they have this mafia, you know what I'm saying, of people who took the damn bait. You know what I'm saying? And likewise, listen, when you expose conspiracies and shed light on things, it clears the air. It allows the process of clearing the air. It's like when you got a dusty room and you first kick open the windows, it's quite a stirring. You know what I'm saying? But after a while, after things blow out and then they settle again, the it's circulated. Everything's the wood in there's, had a chance to breathe. Everything kind of benefits a little bit from open air, so you can just think of it as that. And it's also, it makes each one of us analyze our own heart and clear it out. Or either that, if you can't do that, if you can't really look in there and clear out, the clutter and the demons, the demonic attachments and psychic attachments from, our abusing ourselves with mankind, you know what I'm saying, and other things, you got to go through and just clear these things out and confront them and acknowledge them. And that's the first step in clearing a thing, is acknowledgement. You know what I'm saying? That's like they say, you can't fix a problem until you acknowledge there is one. That's part of all this. This is half of the battle, is just seeing the truth and accepting it and acknowledging it. Then from there, you can draw a plan of action. And no, through trial and error process, you'll find out what's right and what's wrong. I mean, if you're honest about it, but if you're dishonest, you're destined to err at some point or another anyway. So, I mean, that's what it's all about, being honest, forgiving, trying to set right if anyone has anything against you, trying your best to be taking the diplomatic approach, the right approach, the righteous approach. You know what I'm saying? And just trying that. If our whole society just tried that, cleared the air all the time, there wouldn't all these uprisings and try to subversions and perceived offenses and oppressions and frauds and connivery and just straight up conspiratorial activities, like legit conspiracy, not theoretical. It's just, can we prove exactly how they do it every time? No, because it's a conspiracy. We're working from behind. We're looking back at it as they're creating these chaoses. You know what I'm saying? And it's like us people it's almost like shedding light and clearing the air is also, they're similar, because when you shed the light, it reveals what needs to be cleared in the air. So, and this applies in a psychological sense, in a social sense, also in a spiritual, supernatural, fighting against the demons and the principalities and even just look, the hidden darknesses in the hearts and minds of man and woman. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in there. We just got to recognize it and not fall prey, you know what I'm saying, to our more destructive parts of our own nature. Because, I mean, there is a destructive part of nature for some reason. Why do so many people desperately run after self-destruction? I've done it myself. I'm a partaker of that mindset. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, it's just, I tempted fate, and I don't know why, because I was possessed. To some extent, and just I was ignorant of the I was unaware at the time, but looking back on it, it's like, man, dude, what the heck? that is, I am so thankful to be alive and even having a conscience left in myself to even question myself and my, you know, I can admit, yeah, I total, total, just totally deceived and lost, man. And just straight up twisted up on the inside, man. I let this world twist me up, because it's that bad. Sometimes, I mean, no, the world really is at its core. It's that bad that the world is twisted and you just become like this world and we live in. You know what I'm saying? But you're trying to untwist, man, and it causes a turmoil and a tumult in places where people get comfortable with their demons, not clearing the air. They like to harbor and let little spiritual fugitives hide up inside of them. You know what I'm saying? They like the gossip. They like to talk bad about people. They don't practice agape love, which means love that comes without merit. It's just given anyway. It's like when it says honor the mother and father, it means just give them honor and love. It's not necessarily even means it needs to be merited. It just should be given. Just like that's what God gives us is agape love. He just loves us because that's what he chooses. And it's without merit, though he does like it when we do well. You know what I'm saying? And he approves in our well doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's abundantly shown over and over again. And that's why we can go through and clear the air, clear out the demons, like resist them and set right. We can all be like a medicine man like person in when you follow the gospel of Jesus Christ, because it's all contained in there. You look at James and Peter and John, the little books, and there it's all about confronting the spirits and seeing what's what. So I mean, and being about doing miracles to heal people. That's what a medicine man job's supposed to be, and also clear the air of the spiritual influences. But uh, I'm just using that as an example because I have a ethnic tie to that tradition, and to some extent, like I don't know. There's the theory about that are some of the Indian or the Native Americans related to the tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? This is a theory out there, but it's based on certain like weird coincidences. You know what I'm saying? What if you know anything about coincidences? They really don't really occur. It's connection. You know what I'm saying? But it's just so remote and so shady of a zone there. It's hard to prove or disprove even. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that I feel special or it's just the God reconfirms it things over and over and over and over. There's just overwhelming abundance of information and evidence supporting the truth of certain the biblical narrative, man, and it's even reconfirmed in some of the historical things that I've read about the Indians. Like I said, they believe we came from a great flood, and God chose to save a few men. You know what I'm saying? Basically, so the own Indians account reconfirms the Bible. Bam. You know what I'm saying? And there's your connection. How did they know that? You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't, how did they come to that information? You know what I'm saying? Look, there was no like gatekeepers back then for them. It was just they passed on orally what they'd known from the beginning. So it's just reconfirms, and people get all weirded out when you mention this and bring this up, man. Like they don't, no one wants to touch it. The Indians don't like it because some Indians don't like it because they got hostilities because the Catholics were so horrible to them, and they think that the white man's religion is a joke, and to some degree that religion in a lot of cases is a hypocritical beast. So look, but at the same time, uh, uh, it both reconfirm the other. So I mean, there's no sense in rejecting it. You know what I'm saying? Because this isn't organized religion.